Hello, hello and welcome to my hopefully short but relatively detailed overview, not a review as such, of three mic preamps that I've been using recently, namely the Focusrite ISA1 analog, the Golden Age Pre-73 Mark 1, and over here in my rack I have, I don't know if you can see it just about there, the Art TPS2, that's at the top of the rack, mic pre. First, I think I'd just tell you a little bit about my background. Basically, I'm a semi-professional musician with lots of experience recording, songwriting, working in different studios, gigs, mixing down, stuff like that. So I would consider myself experienced in terms of the music game, basically. Firstly, I'd just like to talk about the ISA1. I think subjectively it's got a decent clean sound, yeah. When I've done my testing with this, because I like to compare and see what's what when it came to the preamps. Basically I've compared it to the Art TPS2 and to the Golden Age, and also in a way to my sound card, the Fast Track Ultra 8R, just to see what the sound was like. In comparing it to the Art TPS2, I thought it was a cleaner sound, but to be honest, it wasn't by a huge deal. What I've seen, what maybe you've seen, is a lot of the reviews, people talk about the ISA1 and they talk about it like it's this thing that as soon as you get it, everything's going to improve and it's going to make your whole mixes sound beautiful. And I think, I'm not sure about that. When I've done my tests on it and I've done like for like tests, like I said, it sounds better, but I don't know, not by the amount that people would like to kind of make out that you see in some of the reviews. Also, price is a big thing. You know, in England, this that I've seen currently, cheapest is £399. I don't know, that's about $650 or something. It's a rip-off for us. Typical England, we get ripped off with stuff. And I think if you can get something like the Art for 180, I'm not seeing that extra 220 quid difference in them. Personally, that's just what I've clocked. Some of the positives, apart from the Focusrite having a clean sound, you know, it's got accurate metering on the front. The knobs, they all feel nice and solid. It feels well made, I'll give it that. It's got an insert so you can patch in your compressors and your EQs, which not every preamp you're going to find has. It's got a headphone output as well, which is quite good. So just before you record, if you're working in a studio of some sort, you can just monitor yourself, listen to your guitar, listen to your bass, your keyboard before you start recording. Or you could use that as a kind of standalone mode in some other way. You know, if you're doing it live, you can just get yourself ready, maybe just do a little few tweaks and then plug into a PA or something like that. One of the things that I do like about this ISA, which there's a bit of lack of information that I found on the internet, you can record and output two signals at the same time on this model. Definitely. Because I was a bit worried, thinking I've seen some people say you can, some people say you can't. But basically, I don't know if you can see that, but on the back, you probably can't see that, it's not that detailed. But basically, you can record a mic level in and a DI in, and then output them both at the same time. So if you wanted to record, let's say, a guitarist live, you could have the mic recording the vocal and the DI coming out. I've done that myself, definitely, into my audio interface, that's fine. Or you could record mic and bass, or just two things at the same time. That's a really good thing about the ISA, I'll give it that. So yeah, you can record two things at the same time and output them at the same time. My cons about this, as you can see, I mean, it depends on your space, but a lot of my stuff is rack mounted, and it's a little bit bulky, just a touch. I would prefer that they just put this in a 1U rack mount. Do you know what I mean? Like they do the ISA2. just put that in a 1U rack mount. That would just be lovely for me. So if you've got limited space, or you like your stuff rack mounted, it's a bit of a bulky thing just to have there. I mean, it's got the portability, which is good, but yeah, it would have been better for me in a 1U rack mount. The thing I'm going to get back to, also the sound. The sound is good, but what I found is it's not that holy grail that some of the reviews on the internet would like you to believe. I thought when I got this, I'm not going to have any hum, no hiss or anything when I turn the preamp up. You know, sometimes when you turn up a mic pre and you get to all that last 10 dB and it's just, and you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Same on the ISA. At some point it's very clean and you don't hear much, and then you turn it to like the last X amount and you start to hear the crap that you hear on all of them. So if you're buying this and you think, oh, it's going to be the holy grail, there's going to be no noise, it's not going to happen. You are going to hear the noise depending on how far you push it. Also, like I said, you know, this is retailing at $399 in England, and compared to the Art TPS2, all I've done in the Art, I've just changed it for an electro harmonics tube, and I don't know, I personally, I don't think there's £200 difference between them, between that Art TPS2 and the Focusrite. I think with the Focusrite you're paying for the name, you're paying for that name really. They go on about, oh, George Martin made this desk and that, and it's made from the Forte console and all that, but you know, it's all relative. What I think, sorry, in conclusion, I'm just looking at my laptop for some notes. I think personally, if you're pretty new to the music game, or you've been using mediocre mic preamplification, or you've had limited functionality with your equipment, maybe if you were to use the ISA one, you might hear a difference and you might think, oh, I've got all these things, I've got a metering I can record to at the same time, I've got to insert and do these things. Then you might think, whoa, it's great. But I don't know, if you're experienced and you're used to different mic pre's, it won't blow you away. It will not blow you away like the reviews tend to kind of make you want to believe. Me personally, I'd give it about 7 out of 10. Mainly because it's well built. You know, you can insert, you got the good VU metering, it feels solid, but I think for me it should be retailing about $250, and $250, that's nice. Also, they've stopped doing it with the cases. I think at one point it came with the nice little flight hard case, then they made it an optional extra to charge you a bit more dough. But yeah, like I said, for me it's pretty good, but it's not great. But again, everything's subjective. So what one man thinks is not great, another man will say it is amazing. You've got to kind of judge for your own self. Probably the reviews, you can get to a shop, try it out, or if not, and you can afford it, take a punt on it, see how you get on with it. That's what I feel about the Focusrite ISA1. Okay, welcome back. The next mic preamp that I'd like to talk about is the Golden Age Pre 73 Mark 1. There it is. Seen it already, probably, lots of you. Yep. It looks very basic. It just looks like a red scarlet looking box with a few knobs. It looks basic, but looks can be deceiving, that I found with this, because I have been very, very, very impressed with this. I'm not even going to lie. The main thing that I like about this is how quiet it is. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing that I always come back to in my mic pre's. For me personally, when you start to turn it up and you need that gain, is it going to turn into the crackle, distortion, which nobody wants? This was so quiet compared to all the other preamps, compared to the Focusrite ISA, which I've talked about a little earlier. There it is. There they are together. Two of them. It's quieter than the ISA. I've turned this up to a really high output volume, and it's, you know what I mean, it just sounds so good. I've used this mainly for vocals, and I've done some percussion through this, and I think it's really, really good. I don't know what these retail at now in England, probably about $260 or something, maybe like that. I wish it could come down in price a little bit. That would be good. Yeah, we're in a recession, so why don't you bring the price down? Again, you've probably seen all the photos. It's pretty basic on the back. You've got combo jacks, line in combo, mic in combo, and then out you've got XLR. And I'm not sure about the jack. Maybe it's balanced, maybe it isn't. I'm not sure. Yeah, on the front you got power jack, 6.35 jack in. Got DI function, 48 volt phantom power, low Z, gain structure incremented in 10 dB slots, and then you've got an output which drives it. You can get a nice distorted sound on this depending on how you want to do it. You can put the input relatively low and then just put the output high. You just get a nice distorted sound. You got a little bit of a metering thing there. It's not great, it's okay. And then you got that's probably phase reversal, isn't it? Yeah, it looks like a phase reversal switch, so you can flip something that's out of phase. But like I said, for this, I was very impressed with this. I'm a kind of guy that I look at something and I think, oh, I want bang for my buck, I want loads of things. And when I saw that, I was like, But someone recommended me to try it, and I'd say the Golden Age, very, very good. Yeah, it's definitely up there. I would recommend that to anyone thinking about getting themselves a little mic preamp, because especially for vocals, it's sounding really, really good. You can get a nice clean sound, but then like I said, if you drive that output, you can get a distorted sound if you wanted to use that for an effect, for a vocal, or if you wanted to drive a bass through it just to warm it up and give it a bit more grunt. Keyboard, I think it would serve it well. And also if you want it, you're into the modding and all that kind of stuff, there's a few mods out there which can make it sound a bit more closer supposedly to the 1073 Neve, I think, which it's based on. But just standard as it comes, fantastic, really, really, really good one. So yeah, thumbs up for the Golden Age Pre-73. Check it out. Yes, the art. What can I say about the art? Bang for the buck. You get a lot for your money, considering. First thing I like about it, for me, rack mounted. A lot of my stuff is rack mount, so it fits in there nicely in that kind of scheme of how I like to work and how I've got my stuff set out. You've got the input impedance. You probably know all of this stuff anyway, but some people maybe you don't. You've got gain, output controls, which not a lot, all mic preamps have. Sometimes they just have the gain and not the output. Combo jacks on the front of it. You've got this kind of dial which you can go through and flip through different presets. So it's got things like electric keyboard, vocal, and then they've all got their different things on it. One half it will say output protection limiter, warm, neutral. I tend to keep a lot of it on the neutral flat, which is the quietest of all those flips that I found. Flat, neutral, so I record a lot of things through the flat neutral. Maybe through the bass guitar I might flip onto something which you got a bit more noise but a bit more kind of body to the signal. You got your metering on there. On the back you got balanced ins and balanced outs. Phantom power, phase reversal switch. And it's easy to change the tubes. I had a typical stock Chinese tube in there, and I flipped it for Electro Harmonix 12 AX7, I think. I just wanted that tube because from what I'd seen, it was low noise, good headroom, quite powerful. I don't know if I can hear a load of difference in it. It's probably like these mic pre's, it's all subtle. It's just little things that you can hear now and then, which is a slight change. But I'd say for the art, I would recommend it, to be perfectly honest. In a pro studio, maybe not. Hobbyist, semi-professional, I'd say you can definitely get some good results out of it. The cons out of it, I found, again, it can be a little bit noisy on certain presets, but just recently I found a good way to kind of combat the noise. What I found is getting the gain to about 40 decibels and then putting the output right toward the edge. Say on here it's, what's that? Plus 10 dB. My mistake before, I was getting the output, the gain to about 40, and I was thinking, oh, I can't put the output past north because it's digital, I didn't want it to clip, but it was too low, so I wasn't getting the best signal to noise ratio. But then once I started to put the output a lot higher, I was still getting not that much noise. It was sounding pretty quiet, but it was just sounding more full. So that's something I definitely recommend for the ART TPS2. I mean, they're shipping now about, I don't know, about 170 in England new, and for the money, you get quite a bit. You get quite a bit. So that's my main thing with the ART as well. Good value for money, lots of features, bang for the buck. You know, good for DI as well. The main thing that I've used the ART for is vocals, DIing bass. I've run some keyboards through it, and I found it to be pretty good. You may have seen a couple of the other videos that I've got up there. So I'm talking about basically 3 mic preamps, which I've got the Focusrite ISA1, the ART in the rack, and then the Golden Age. They've all got their uses. It's one of those ones. If I were to say, it's hard to say which one's the best, quote unquote. Oh man, because like I said, you Focusrite, you've got your nice VU metering, it feels so solid. You can patch in a compressor. It's got a good DI function. You can record 2 things at a time, but you can with the ART as well. And it's pretty solid. It feels well made. The Golden Age, sound on that, lovely. Quiet. It's the quietest of all 3 of the preamps. So for me, that makes a difference. You don't want to be using a preamp where it's just noise. And the ART, like I said, for the bang for the buck, it's rack mountable. You've got 15 presets or so. You can change the tubes. You got balance in, balance out. You can use it as a DI box. It's rack mount. It looks sexy. It's one of those. It's hard. And I mean, for 170, it's pretty good. It's all very close. It's all close. But in my opinion, just from what I've been using it for, and I've had the chance to use them, if I had to put them in a 1-2-3 or a 3-2-1, personally, which is just my opinion, which I'm entitled to, I would say Focusrite 3, ART 2, and the Golden Age number 1. Yeah, that's it. That's what I would say. I mean, the Golden Age is not the best looking, but you know, it does the job. It does the job, and that's just what I found at the end of the day. Everyone's different. Everyone's got their own spin on things, but best thing to do, just get things, try them, see if you like them. Some things will work for you, some things won't. Sometimes one will work for a certain song or a vocalist, other times it won't. But I think if you get something like, if you get any of them, you can't really go wrong. You can't go wrong. And the Focusrite is good, Golden Age is good, and the ART's good. So yeah, I hope that I've given you some sort of information, maybe that you can take, and it'll help you if you're thinking about purchasing one of these, or a couple of these, or all 3 if you're rich, and you've got some money to spend. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, see how you get on. And what I think the most important thing, which a lot of people don't think about or gets overlooked, is your song. That's the most important thing in your music, because if you think back to so many times, or back in the day, these men who made these so-called classics in the 50s and 60s, a lot of the time they weren't using the technology that we've got now. You know what I mean? So, and it's about getting a great song. I'm not saying the mic preamp doesn't make a difference, but if you've got a great band who are shit hot tight and they're playing through an 18/8 out sound card, but the mics are set up nice and they're a tight band, it's going to sound good. And also the mix of your track makes a big difference. You know what I mean? If you got your track mixed down proper and you got someone that knows his frequencies and knows how to get that bump in that kick drum and isolate all the other crap out your vocals, it's going to sound good. A lot of the time what I clock is people get too caught up in the gear game. What gear? Song is the most important thing out of everything. So focus on the music. That's my little 2 penneth to throw in there. But yeah, gear is important too, but it's not the be all and end all. But anyway, I'm rambling now and I've got to go. So yeah, like I said, hope it's giving you a little bit of insight, information, and like I said, just do your thing. Cool. Thank you, YouTube.